Welcome back to another episode of Dear Source, your Ascendancy Hotline, your daily dose of spiritual guidance, where we dive deep into real life questions and struggles using ancient wisdom and universal principles to find clarity, peace, and alignment. Whether you're navigating relationships, inner conflict, or seeking purpose, this is a space where we honor your journey with compassion, non judgment, and insight. Drawing from the universal laws, A Course in Miracles, the Law in One, the Hermetic Principles, we are here to help you find answers, connect to your truth, and elevate your path to healing and growing. Now, let's explore today's letter and connect with the wisdom of Source. So, today's letter reads, Dear Source, I am beyond frustrated with social media. Everywhere I turn, I'm bombarded with endless scrolling, shallow content, and a barrage of highlight reels that don't feel authentic. It becomes so hard for me to participate in a world where the main method of connecting and communicating feels fake, phony, and quite frankly stupid. I don't want to be someone who isolates myself from the world, but I also don't want to engage in something that feels so empty and disconnected from what's real. I feel like I'm trapped between wanting to be present and participate, yet despising the very platform through which everyone is interacting. The superficiality, the constant comparison, it's exhausting and demoralizing. How can I navigate this? How do you find a way to stay connected with others without feeling like I'm betraying my values and getting sucked into superficial noise? Please help me find a way to be part of this world without losing myself to the parts of it that I cannot stand. Sincerely fed up with social media. Well, thank you. Fed up with social media. Such an honor to connect with you here on this platform, which is social media. And I so respect and honor your transparency, and I appreciate the candidness and vulnerability. And I would just acknowledge like your high degree of awareness around this beautiful platform that we are all on. And so the first thing I would really start out with is really back to the law of one, and everything exists in relationship. So what is your relationship with social media? And how are you in right relationship with it? So do you see it as something that enhances you and there's higher value to it? Because I think when we see what's the highest value it can offer and how can I exist in relationship to that, I think that's one place to start from. I think as well as start from the space too of what is really triggering you within social media. So when you're on there, when you're scrolling, feeling that it's unauthentic, feeling like it's whatever, whatever, that you can see the value of what is that trying to teach you. And are you feeling whole and complete? Are you feeling that you are worthy? Or do you feel stable, secure, not lacking, attached to the outcome, out of fear that you wish you were in control, with maybe what you're seeing that some people are posting? So I think it's an opportunity for spiritual growth, quite honestly, when you look at social media and can look at every human that's on there. How are they interacting? And to remember just like in a human interaction, that everything exists in relationship. So everything exists for your highest good. So what is that teaching you? Are you getting triggered by somebody? If you're getting triggered by somebody, what is getting triggered within you? And why is that triggering to you? And what part of you is that bringing to the surface to enlighten and to requalify and to see it through the lens of love? And so I would start with, how are you present and conscious? Because oftentimes what I find is when I am scrolling, if I'm mindlessly on there, I do become unconscious, like, and I'm not presenced in that moment. So that's also part of the relationship with social media, is how often do you want to be on it? What do you want to be doing on it? Do you need to be on it? Those are all questions you get to ask yourself. Like, you don't have to be on it if you don't want to be at all. Like, I think really, if I were to personally give you my lens, the only reason why I'm on here is for the purposes of which I've been called to do work in this world. So I see social media is a cooperative partner, somebody that I'm in a beautiful dance with, to help me get this message out, to help bring enlightenment into the world, to bring more conscious conversation to social media. So what's your purpose, or what's your relationship, or what's your connection point to it? If you don't want to have any relationship with it and you feel whole and complete, and there's no call for you to be using it for, let's say, your purpose, your work in the world, I think it's okay to honestly disconnect if you don't want to be on there. I think that there's opportunities, and I think that's really the question, is what is your relationship to it? And then when you are on it, how are you acting in relationship with it to honor the universal truths, to honor the universal laws that we're here to honor? And are you honoring those when you're on social media? Am I being love and light? Am I extending consciousness? Am I extending love out into the world through my interactions on social media, knowing that we live in an infinitely abundant universe? We live in a friendly universe, that this is a benevolent, amazing world, universe in which we live, and that there is plenty to go around. So if other people are doing other things that are triggering to us as individuals, that's just an opportunity for our growth and to engage or bring a different level of consciousness to the conversation, and to extend love from the highest place that it can be, because that's the highest point that they're at in that moment. So can you look at everybody? And I know that this is harder because it's online, it's virtual, it's less interactive, but can we look at every person that we're interacting on there as a child of the universe, as a child of God, and that we're going to extend to them the universal love that we are here to extend to them as part of the law in one? Like, that there is only one of us here. There's the universal law of unconditional love, of I am to love my neighbor as I love myself. So it's actually a really incredible tool to expand our consciousness. And it's also an incredible tool to hone our skills around discernment and tuning our intuitive skills to fine tune what we are seeing and what we are feeling and what we know to be true. And to remember that, again, looking through the lens of that's the highest point of consciousness coming from that individual. So if it feels very attention seeking or it feels fake, or that's your intuitive skills to meet that person where they're at, even if it's through social media, and extend them unconditional love through that medium. And we have not created that. We have created a very divisive, we have created a very attention seeking. I think a lot of validation, comes through social media. And quite honestly, it's really, really sad because we've actually developed, I think, some really bad egoic patterns within ourselves, thinking that our validation comes through the number of likes we get, or who posts or reposts it, or whatever the case might be. And I think we also get a very unrealistic picture of what life is really truly like for the vast majority of people. People get to put on there what they want you to know and see, for whatever their motivations and reasons are. And you're not there to discern. You can discern that, but extend love and know that that's their highest state of consciousness there. And so my call to action is, how can we bring more consciousness, more love to that space, rather than seeing it as bad, or evil, or any of those things, because that doesn't exist in the universe. There is no duality in the universe. There is just isness. The universe is good. The universe is friendly. The universe is here for the highest and greatest good of all of us. And that we can use mediums such as Facebook or Instagram to extend more love and more Christ consciousness into the world, to elevate the human collective. So, pardon me, what I'd really advocate is, what's your point of initiating? Again, what's your relationship with it? And what I'm doing, am I being Christ-like? Am I extending unconditional love? Am I being love? Can I offer that up in my interactions and in my content? And then if you don't like to be on it, then don't be on it. Really honor yourself. But my call to action would be, what's your relation to social media? And how do you want to be in relationship with that? And are you expressing yourself at the highest state of being when you're on there? And then 2, when you are in relationship with it, how are you then extending out the unconditional love, the Christ consciousness, the raised vibration as part of that? Because as we change and elevate our human collective, we're then going to change and elevate the whole of what gets used. So if we all bring more consciousness to social media, then we're going to have more consciousness in the world. So you have to think about, and what I'm putting out in alignment with that. And I think the other thing is you can't concern with what other people are doing. Again, use that as a tool to heighten your spiritual discernment, and not use it as a tool to judge anybody else. Because I think that's part of the problem, is we're all sitting in judgment versus seeing that person as ourselves and extending them an incredible amount of generosity of spirit, joy, love, and putting that into the world. And so bring that to your platforms, bring that to your content. Don't discern, don't spend your time, like, acknowledge it, be aware of it. If you're triggered by it, use that as a lesson to grow yourself and go, why is that triggering to me? And how do you just extend love to that individual in that moment? Because that's where they're at on their journey at this point in time. And so we're not going to have some mass change. Trust me, I've had moments as I've gone on my spiritual journey, watched certain things about social media, its addictive behavior, being a parent of children, and how do you help them see what reality really is? Because people are painting their narrative, and you either participate in that, but I would also tell you, as we go on this spiritual journey, we're the creators of our own reality. So if you don't like what you're seeing, you get to change that, whether that's who's in your circle and you really just cannot take another one of their posts. Well, then maybe that's an unfriend. And that doesn't mean you don't extend them love and light. It's just, I don't want that in my energy or in my presence. And that's one of my boundaries that I have energetically for myself. Quite frankly, I think we should all be able to get along with everybody. We should be able to love what everybody posts and like what everybody posts, because we should just be love and light. That's where somebody is at in any given moment, whether we agree or disagree or not. So how can we, use it as a tool to grow ourselves and learn, and also really use it to grow our ability to be in non-judgment, to really extend out what we all came here to be unconditional love, to be the truest, highest essence of ourselves, which when we are that, we aren't in judgment, because we understand that every other thing, every other person there's only truly one of us here. There's only one massive energy that we're all a part of. And that to be an adverse actor in that, you're only creating resistance within yourself. And so you have to remember too, the universe has every individual perfectly held, that everybody's right where they're supposed to be on their spiritual journey. It's not our job to judge. Our job is to create space, to create unconditional love, and trust that we have to trust that the universe is on it. So let's say somebody says something hateful or manipulative or is pretty unconscious. You gotta acknowledge that God, source, the universe, divine is on it, and that you don't need to concern yourself with that. And you reacting negatively then creates the lesson for you to then align to a higher frequency, which is that of unconditional love. So social media is just a great spiritual learning tool for us to heighten our ability to understand the law of one, to understand the principle of unconditional love, to tune ourselves to the highest frequency that God put us here to be, and that we get a platform in today's day and age, and multiple platforms, where we get to grow ourselves, and we get to be in the relationship we want to be in with those platforms. And whatever is right for you is right for you, because you're going to discern what's right for you. So what a beautiful letter, fed up with social media. And I think a lot of people are fed up with social media. I think your sentiment is very, very, very accurate. And so I think there's an incredible opportunity for us to change our relationship, to see the good in it, and to use it to raise the vibration in consciousness on the universe as part of our trajectory in the human evolution. So see it as your friends, get in right relationship with it. See how you can use it to better yourself as well as better humanity as part of the evolutionary journey that we're a part of. So thank you for joining us on today's episode of Dear Source, where we align spiritual principles with real world experiences. Remember, no matter the challenges you face, peace, clarity, and wisdom are always available when you connect with your higher self. If today's discussion resonated with you and you're seeking deeper personalized guidance, I invite you to book a private session with me. Together, we can explore your spiritual path and unlock the answers you've been searching for. And if you're ready to connect with a like-minded spiritual community, coming soon is the Ascendancy Collective, where we support each other in our growth, healing, and ascension. You don't have to walk the path alone. Join us and let's rise together. Until next time, trust the process, honor your truth, and stay connected to Source.